Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? You have come with clarity about that which you desire. You are adoring the contrast that has brought you to that clear point. The clarity of your desire is well worth the contemplation of the contrast. You are aware that you can control even the contrast in which you intertwine. Do you believe that when things happen around you, and as you observe them, that those things cause you to vibrate, and therefore you have not control of the way you feel? If we were to poll the majority of your population, they would answer yes to that. Most would say, I look out into my world, no matter how far-reaching your gaze is, and I see things which affect the way I feel. And therefore, if I had some measure of control over those things, then I might feel better. And we say, you might if you could do that. But from your broader non-physical perspective, you don't even want to do that. You do not want to control or limit conditions or possibilities. Because from your broader non-physical perspective, you understand that this universe in which you and we are all focused is vibrationally based and is managed by law of attraction. So you understand from your broader non-physical perspective that since you can control that which you give your attention to, therefore you can control what your vibrational output is. Therefore you can control what law of attraction matches you up with. Can you hear the difference? One way says, I look out and I see bad things and I feel bad, so let's do something about controlling the bad things so that I can feel good. You've been working on that for eons. How is it working out? The other approach that we are really selling to you here is, I am a vibrational being and I vibrate because of that which I give my attention to. So as I am more selective about that which I focus upon, then I have a measure of control of what my vibrational offering is, because as I give my attention to something, I include it in my vibration. And as I begin to more selectively choose that which I remember, that which I focus upon in my now, or that which I contemplate into my future, as I more specifically focus, then I more specifically deliberately vibrate. And as I more deliberately vibrate, then I have deliberate creative control of my own experience, because law of attraction is matching my vibration to me. It is so much simpler to control your vibration than it is to control the world. And since you now, in your time-space reality, have visual, sensual interaction worldwide, and since you have a news mechanism in place, believing that it is to your advantage that they point out everything going wrong, there has never been a better time in all of the history of physical beings focused in this time-space reality to make a decision that nothing is more important than that I feel good. Therefore, nothing is more important than that I learn creative control of my own vibration. As you look out into the world and you see unwanted things and you shout no at them, you're actually, for the time of your attention to them, including them in your vibration. As you look out into the world and you see things that you shout yes at, you are including those in your vibration. And so most of you, by virtue of your ability to observe, have quite a mixture of vibration, and some of it serves you well and some of it does not. It is fortunate that you have within you a guidance system that lets you know which part is which. You can tell the parts of your gaze or focus or attention or comment or memory or speculation or imagination or observation, which are serving you in the moment of them, and you can tell which of those objects of attention are not serving you well by the way you feel. Because you live in a universe that is freedom-based, you get to give your attention to anything that you choose. Because you live in a universe that is joy-based, because you live in a universe that at the basis of it is utter well-being, well-being flows abundantly. It is your legacy, it is your birthright, it is what is natural unto you. It is not something that you must earn, it is something that you already deserve. It is not something that you have to achieve worthiness of, you are already worthy of it. Well-being is the order of this universe. And if you ever doubt that, just notice how you're all still here. Just notice how the food keeps growing and the sun keeps shining and the earth keeps spinning in perfect proximity to other planets. Notice that well-being is not only continuing, it is abounding. It not only abounds, it dominates. Notice that well-being is the order of this time-space reality. Now we know that it is also easy to notice every now and again when someone or a pocket of someone's gets out of sync with well-being. And when that happens, you witness negative emotion, you witness illness, you witness what you might call tragedy or disaster, you witness drought or flood, you witness unwanted things. But in that small percentage, and we really want you to get a sense of how small, infinitesimal the not well-being is relative to the well-being, in that small percentage of not well-being, often you get focused. Because somewhere along your path, somebody's convinced you that if you don't watch out for what's going wrong, it will jump into your experience. That can't happen. Nothing can jump into your experience. In fact, your attention to what is not going well, your attention to those things not wanted, only causes you to activate within yourself a like vibration which, given enough attention to, can cause law of attraction to match you up with something like it. We give this not to you in a form of warning. We give this to you in a form of helping you to understand all things that happen to all beings, including you. In other words, everything that is happening to you is coming in response, and in response only, to your vibration. Or you might say, everything that you're living is coming in response to your mood or attitude, to the way you feel. Because your mood or attitude or the way you feel is a perfect response or indicator of what your vibrational output is. It is so lovely to recognize that as I think I feel, and as I feel I am, and as I am, I am, I am, I am. As I think I feel, and as I feel I be. As I think, I feel. And as I feel, I activate vibration. And as I activate vibration, law of attraction matches me with that which I have activated. So is this good news or bad news? Well, from our vantage point, there could not be better news. Because what that says is, here you are in your physical bodies on the leading edge of thought, furthest extensions of all that is, out here examining, perfect detail and variety for the express purpose of concluding a new preference. And with each preference, which is the same thing as saying, identifying a desire, with each new preference, source energy says yes and comes immediately forth in response. When you say ask and it is given, you could not say more accurate words. This preference that is born within you does not even have to be spoken. Any place that you stand, anything that you are living, you are literally mining the details of your powerful, present, creative moment in time. And as the preference shoots out of you, source energy says, yes, it is done. Sometimes our physical friends have a hard time believing that. They will say, doesn't seem like that's how it's working in my life. I know I'm asking for things that have not yet shown up. And I know I'm asking for things that have shown up to get out of here. So what's going on? If I'm asking and source energy is giving, then why aren't I living better? And we say, because somehow you've achieved vibrational harmony with something that you don't want. So you are not a vibrational match to what you do want. Oh, that was easy to hear, wasn't it? I am looking at what is so profusely. I'm talking about how it is so often that the way I feel is so much about what is that even though I occasionally or even often ask for something different than what is still dominates in my vibration. That's a big word. What is dominates. What I'm living in manifestation is only what dominates in my vibration. Most physical humans are vibrating a little all over the place, but what you're actually living, what is actually manifesting, is what is dominating in your vibration, which only means it's what you've practiced the most. It's the way you really feel. The universe is delivering to you exactly as you expect. And the reason you expect as you expect is because you've practiced those thoughts. All a belief is a thought that you keep thinking. And the reason that you keep thinking the thought is because you keep thinking the thought. The reason that you keep thinking the thought is you continue to think the thought. The reason you think the thought is because you think the thought. Sounds like a trap, doesn't it? I think the thought so that I think the thought so that I think the thought. And what we're wanting to remind you is that you have the ability to think a different thought. But it's easier to think that thought, you say. It's much easier to think this thought with all of this evidential experience around me than it is to think this thought, which I haven't had much practice at. We want to show you how, even though you're not living it, you can make something other than what is your dominant vibration. And with far less effort than any of you have imagined before, you can make something that pleases you utterly your dominant vibration. We want to say to you that you do not have to take some aspect of your life that is not going well. Like, let's say you have an illness, and it's hard not to think about it because it has been diagnosed, it has been given a label, and there are physical symptoms in your body that bring you discomfort. And so not thinking about it is not the easiest thing. Thinking about it is easier. So Abraham says, but don't think about that. Instead, think about something else. And you say, well, it isn't easy to think about wellness when I'm ill. And we say to you, then don't try to think about wellness, think of something else. Why would we encourage that? Because when you think of the subject of your physical bodily conditions, when you're living something unwanted, that's the most dominant thought within that. And so when you bring up the subject of health, whatever is the dominant thought is activated, and then you don't have access to any other thoughts around that. You get a sense of what we are talking about? We want you to focus for just a little bit here on some key words, activated and dominant, because you have endless thoughts potential. Sometimes you feel like you are stuffed full of beliefs, and we say every thought that has ever been thought still exists. And you do have vibrational access to every thought that's ever been thought. But the likelihood of you thinking every thought that's ever been thought is not great, because you are not a vibrational match to every thought that's ever been thought. You are, in fact, not even a vibrational match to every thought that you've ever thought, or every experience that you've ever experienced. So let's say when you were quite young, you had a sort of unsettling experience that really got your attention and for a while seemed to dominate your thoughts. And for a while, because law of attraction is responding to your thoughts, you had quite a few experiences like that. But then, as time went on, you changed where you were living, or that mean bully friend moved away, or something happened in your experience and something else got more of your attention, and something else became a more dominant thought. So even though you lived that experience, and even though the potential for activating it is still within you, it doesn't get activated all that often. And then one day, you're just starting a new job and you meet someone, and wouldn't you know, for whatever reason, unbeknownst to you, those old feelings are starting to come up again, because something in this new relationship is reactivating a vibration that you hadn't thought about.